Alright, we're gonna go with that. Good evening, everybody, or good night if you're on the East Coast here. Welcome to the bracket stages of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. We have today the number says number 8, I believe that's actually the number 9 seed, SylverFyre, taking on the number 24 seed, Thirwolf. And my name is Emptyeye. I'm joined by my co-commentator, JJ Schmidt77. JJ, how are you tonight?
Well, I made it through that last race with everybody else, so I thought I'd pop in and get ready for the second of this doubleheader. I've been looking forward to this one all week.
Yeah, this one is going to be a good one. And meanwhile, it looks like I might be getting joined by my co-commentator, Mario the Cat here, my other co-commentator. Oh, here he comes. Hello. Alright, so in the meantime, race will begin in 10 seconds in the SRL chat. So we should be getting underway here very shortly.
We've kind of got Final Fantasy versus Zelda randomizers going here with Thirwolf and SylverFyre, so it should be interesting. We'll see what the chests are here.
Yes, we have a Silver Harp and some Fairy Water. Also note that SylverFyre using, I believe that's Nara from Dragon Warrior 4. Thirwolf going with the male hero sprite, also from Dragon Warrior 4. So not a whole lot in the starting chest there. There is some Fairy Water, but that's not really what they want right now.
And whenever I see a Silver Harp in the treasury, I'm always hoping to see Swamp when you get downstairs, but not the case today, unfortunately.
Nope, meanwhile, Thirwolf we see chipping away at this Drakey, taking it out. Great experience. That Magician, yeah, running from the Magician, good move.
Yeah, I think 6 strength Drakey is about perfect. That's what you want to see, and we haven't seen any sticky abilities on it yet, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, it's going to be about what you want. Thirwolf finding a Droll, getting ambushed, going back to the start. Runners do start with the spell of Heal. So...
And 15 HP, as you can tell by the red number there, is not good, but it could definitely be worse. Blue slime kill is going to put Thirwolf in the lead momentarily.
And oh boy, the critical miss, followed by the Ghost and the Warlock. They both ate the nuclear wings before the seed.
That is a terrible turn taken there for Thirwolf. So up 2 and G's pointing out one of the main differences. I feel like we don't see this as much as we used to, but SylverFyre's using the Strength Agility build versus Thirwolf with the Strength HP build. So that it probably won't play a big factor until the end game, but could be something to keep an eye on as stats progress.
Right, question from chat. Chests were the Silver Harp, a Fairy Water in the key. Also, level 2, by the way, bringing 0 HP! 0 MP! Oh, I love it! Runners did get a bit of strength and agility out of it, though. So... Thirwolf gonna try to chip away at this Magician with... between the additional strength and the heal spell.
Yeah, I think that's great timing, and it's looking like it's going to work out pretty well as long as there's no last-minute heals by the Magician here.
Right, but there are not, and Thirwolf takes it down for a nice 8 experience.
So a little early lead. That's another back attack, but lucky this time with the ghost.
Dodging again. Ghosts do have a slightly elevated dodge rate. And getting the spicy breath. The Dragon Lord 2 breath.
Yeah, I don't think that was really rolling the dice there, but it's all right. It's early. It's all right to roll the dice a little bit, especially that would have put him in level 3.
Yeah, sometimes if I find an enemy that's a bit stronger than I would normally be able to handle, I'll still try to fight it, maybe hope for a critical hit. See if I can get a nice experience boost out of it.
Meanwhile, Syl's getting a little unlucky with the encounters here. Just needs one more experience to get up to level 2, which is going to bring that extra strength, and has been scant on the Drakies and the blue slime.
Yeah, does find a blue slime there. And defeats it. Gonna go to level 2. And our tracker Ellie Gerbrat pointing out that the Drakimas with the baby breath. Randomania 2, thank you for the raid. Welcome to Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Got a bit of a late start on this seed. But that's good for you all, and we hope you enjoy this.
Yeah, not to tempt fate or anything, but how many level 20 randomizer seeds can we roll in a row in this tournament? Goodness.
As hopefully this one will go slightly quicker than the previous one. Thirwolf getting level 3 and 0 agility! Oh, I love it! Not a lot there.
Not a lot.
Yeah, the level 3 stats don't look that much better. It's a little bit of a slow build up here to start.
Alright,
Congrats, my spirit.
We are gonna be... Oh, there's a golem. Golem sending Thirwolf back to the start. So, since we're kind of stuck in a bit of an early game grind here, not a whole lot going on, how our runners got to this point. SylverFyre, our 9 seed, opened up with a win over Vanivan in week 1. Then a loss to Angel FM in week 2, dropping them to 1-1. Week 3, SylverFyre beat some chump named Emptyeye to go to 2-1. And then a win over Game Boy F9 to go to 3-1, and finally a victory over Edgestream to go to 4-1. Meanwhile, Thirwolf, our 24 seed, had a bit of a streaky tournament, opened with a win over Ali Gerbrat, who is tracking today, followed by a win over Ouijie in week 2, and then a loss to High Spirits, a loss to Tristal to drop to 2-2, and then finally a win over Lavgian to, I guess you could say, sneak in at 3-2. So both our runners face a rather difficult slate of opponents to get here.
Yeah, and I'm not positive. I think this is Thirwolf's first tournament. I might be wrong about that. I know SylverFyre has a long history of really performing well in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer standard tournaments. So not a surprise to see Syl go 4-1. But Thirwolf, I think, was kind of a dark horse and has played really well so far. Anybody making this bracket did really well.
Yes, really, if you look at the results of this first bracket round so far, the seeding really doesn't mean much. The quote-unquote lower seeds have probably won about as often, if not more often, than the higher seeds.
Most definitely.
Thirwolf going to level 4, 3, 5, 10, and 2. That's a nice level. Unfortunately, no spells to speak of.
That HP is really good there with the heal spell going up to 26, I think, yeah. So, that's going to broaden out the enemies that are killable now.
Yes, and also going to get more use out of that heal spell, just because there's now more of an HP range that it'll be able to heal as well. Will further extend the time our runners can kind of spend out here.
I mean, this zone being mainly grass is pretty terrible to start. And I think pretty much anytime we get too far into that desert there, it's just spicy, spicy fire breath. So not a great terrain to start off.
Yeah, meanwhile, the SylverFyre going back to the start from, I believe it was a Druid. But yeah, so the grass, or the plains, whatever you want to call them, have, I believe, the lowest encounter rate in the game. As far as trying to... Right now, we want to find enemies. We want to be killing enemies and gaining stats, and the plains have some of the lowest encounter rates in the game, whereas the deserts and the mountains are tied for the highest encounter rate in the game. The deserts are slightly faster, because if you'll notice, the lower mountains, they slow you down a little bit. There's a bit of a pause with each step you take. And we have temporarily lost my co-commentator here. So if you're new to Dragon Warrior, or to the Randomizer, the object of the game is to defeat the nefarious Dragon Lord who has stolen the sacred Ball of Light from the land of Alefgard. To do that, you need to access Charlock, the Dragon Lord's lair, and to do that, you need the Rainbow Drop, and to get the Rainbow Drop, you need to turn in 3 additional items. The Staff of Rain, the Stones of Sunlight, the Erdrick's Token. Furthermore, in order to acquire the Staff of Rain, you need to turn in an item called the Silver Harp, which in this case we got in the throne room.
Yeah, it's always nice to get one of those 3 key items out of the way right out of the throne room. There is a weird little thing, I believe this is true, because I've screwed this up once. But if you talk to the old man in the Harp Shrine to get the staff, but forget to take 2 steps and actually take it out of the box, I think you get soft lock. So, that's one of those 1 in a million things to look out for.
Yes, I believe you're right. That is true in this case, since you cannot go back and get the harp again out of the throne room.
Yeah, he takes it, poofs into a magical land, and then if you leave, he's back and wants another harp for his trouble.
Yes, Thirwolf trying to chip away at this skeleton.
Down to his last heal.
Oh, and the skeleton has heal. Oh boy. That's a problem.
That's terrible luck. That's the danger of taking on one of these long encounters early in the game, is you can really sink a lot of time. SylverFyre's also taking the experience lead here, so in that now. So it didn't take long to overcome.
Yeah, SylverFyre punching. Looks like magicians are their enemy of choice here. Enjoy the I might be useful comment from our tracker there. That location on the tracker will be where the coordinates for the world map item go once we discover those coordinates. If in fact there are coordinates, there may not be.
Yeah, I don't think at least I haven't seen it I haven't seen either runner kind of take a flyer to see if there's anything nearby that might boost any attack power, or even add a herb or two. You never know what just might be a couple screens away. A lot of grass means that lower encounter rate, so the positive side of that is you should be able to get a little ways away from the castle without being in too much danger.
And neither runner has really gone much beyond kind of that desert a little bit to the northeast. Problem is the plains sort of end and you run into either mountain or desert on kind of all sides, or just water. Meanwhile, 0 agility! Oh, I love it! At level 5. SylverFyre does learn this. Be useful.
Sleep is good with those skeletons around. Yeah, we haven't seen a level really give any good stat boost. It's all been pretty low numbers and just slow. That sleep's good though.
Yeah, sleep is gonna help. SylverFyre is trying to take on this wolf. If the wolf stays asleep, that might be good. Wolf is not staying asleep for a particularly long time, though. And now we're seeing the issue with this.
Yeah,
I think SylverFyre might have what Lordon pointed out in chat. This is a bit of a Hail Mary, but they're kind of committed at this point.
And Thirwolf got level 5, took one swing at the wolf, and then ran away. Ran right into the loving arms of a warlock and is back in the penalty box.
Yep. Meanwhile, the SylverFyre's gamble paying off. That wolf stayed asleep for a very, very long time. And getting the nice 40 experience for that. So we're running into a Drakima getting sent back to the start, but I don't think they're too upset about that. They were perhaps completely out of resources there.
I may be wrong about it, but that might have been the first attempt Syl would have had to branch out. I think there was pretty close to 200 gold there, so that might have been their first attempt away from the cat.
Yeah, or certainly their initial attempt once they were able to get level 2 and survive a little bit longer. And trolls have hurt more. Well then.
These kind of second-tier enemies that you see in the zones 1 and 2 around the castle have been pretty nasty for the stat gains that we have here. It has not been fun trying to figure out what you should and shouldn't.
Alright, we're in kind of that awkward phase now where we're gonna kind of start to want to see some enemies that give a little bit more experience. But all of them seem to have some kind of nasty ability that you just don't want to deal with. Thirwolf here, finding the Staff of Rain trade-in cave, does remember to actually take the Staff of Rain. Always good. As JJ mentioned earlier, this was a situation you basically have to try to do it, but it was a situation where JJ could have, or I'm sorry, Thirwolf could have soft-locked their game had he not actually taken the Staff of Rain after trading in the Harp. Finding a green dragon up there, that's gonna be a no-no.
That's pretty rude. I think I just saw a town just off the corner on Syl's screen here.
Oh, so fighting the town of Grimmeldar. This could be big.
That is going to be, if not, if not immediately, a big deal. It's going to be pretty shortly.
Will be big eventually. Unfortunately, that death that SylverFyre took earlier, limiting their ability to buy keys. Presumably we'll go for one, though. Also a silver shield available if there's a gold grind in play.
Thirwolf's going to be about one more druid away from level 6, which is pretty much right exactly where Syl is now, too. So. And there are metal slimes really close to the castle in that little desert there.
Oh, big stick treasury. Wow.
So it was immediately a big deal getting those keys.
Yes, and some gold in the top left chest. So gold grind is in play here.
And that's good to know immediately that there's a silver shield so close, so you know, as soon as you get through a cave, you can just take that death warp and get yourself a silver shield and not have to worry about thinking about that throughout much of the scene here.
A nice level up there at level 6. A lot of strength, a lot of MP. I think it was 1 in 1 for agility and HP, but the other two stats were nice.
It's crazy there's been so many metal slimes around. If they'd have only went just a little north earlier, you know, you never know how this could have worked out.
SylverFyre takes down a metal slime. Go to level 7. One 10, 1 3 learns. Return and heal more out of that. Very nice. Won't be doing the walk of shame out of Charlock.
Heal more is always good to check off your list here, but not going to be useful for quite a while.
So Mario the Cat has decided he wants to go commentate with me. Unfortunately, he is now directly between myself and the monitor I was using to watch the race, and there he goes. Hi.
So it took Syl a little longer to get off of level 1, but obviously a couple of things going their way now, so we'll see how quickly, we'll see how quickly Thirwolf can kind of jet up to that corner area that Syl was in. Because those keys are pretty vital right now. Getting that sword, any minute that he's wasting not getting that sword is going to just compound this lead.
Absolutely, especially the longer we go without seeing Hurt more. Thirwolf does find Gear in hand, picks up a club. There was a flame sword and a magic armor available there. stocked up on torches, herbs, etc. Just noting what was there. And Lorgon in chat pointing out club, technically also a big stick. It is correct. It's correct.
The seed is just crawling with metal slime.
Thirwolf gets 2 quick hits, but then a couple misses and the slime takes off.
It's terrible.
Silver, check to the Rimuldar chest. I missed what it was.
Yeah, unfortunately I did too. Looks like
Okay,
an herb.
Telling us it was an herb. I personally love the torch being in there.
That's really just another big stick if you think of it.
True. But spending 2 keys worth of gold to acquire the 8 gold torch is, of course, the top tier capitalist economic play.
Yeah, this could just be really bad timing for everything as well, because now Thirwolf's got that club, so he's going to think even more about just hanging out, beating up on wolves a little bit. And, you know, 7 wasn't a great level. He might be here for a couple of levels before he branches off again. It's hard to say.
Right, he's got to sneak up kind of northeast there, up to Rimuldar there. Fairly soon, but... SylverFyre discovering Swamp North. There's another metal slime just hanging out in here. They're all over the place today. And that one takes off. There's another one! That one also running away. Maybe it was the same metal slime, who knows? Wow, okay.
This is really just insane how many there's been this early into a scene.
Or again, possibly the same one, who knows? Maybe it ran off, took a heal spell, came back. There's another metal slime there. Another kill rat, that is. SylverFyre going to level 8 now.
8 and most of the way to 9 just in that one kill.
Yep. Well, this might have been a nice place to grind, if not for Mr. Golem. Punch SylverFyre all the way back to the start.
It's quite a spread of monster statistics right there, to just go from chasing down a metal slime to getting punched right in the mouth.
Yep, SylverFyre gonna re-raid the treasure. Grab some gold, another set of wings. Okay, so it looks like Swamp North might actually have been the Tangel basement.
So it'll be interesting to see, you know, I think it's still possible it links up to Garenham as well, so That could be big.
Certainly. And Thirwolf casting return without even buying a key. Yikes.
Well, he's gonna find. Oh, wait. He returned. But is he going away from the castle?
Oh, looks like he. Yeah, he might have forgotten what the price of a key was. He had enough by about 3 gold. SylverFyre finding a town on the other side of Swamp Cave here. Breckenary!
The old $6 inn.
Chainmail and small shield available. And some full plate for later on, maybe.
Thirwolf's having a heck of a time with this Drakima as well. But
Okay, Thirwolf now going back into Randomizer.
so this is good. At level 7, you know, we're doing all right. Behind in exploration, but I do think he's going to immediately feel the heat with Rimmeldar being so close and the sword being in the treasury. I mean, it'd be hard at 30 minutes in not to feel behind.
Yeah, he's gonna like seeing the sword in the treasury because, you know, big stick, but at the same time, he's not going to like seeing it for exactly that reason. Rimmeldar is so close, the sword available in the treasury, and you not discovering it until 30 minutes in, you have to be thinking, oh no, I'm behind. My opponent has surely seen this already. The other thing about the sword being available in the treasury like this is it takes away a potential gamble that if you are a lower seeded player going against a top tier runner or someone you think is better, more skilled than you, it takes away a potential gamble you could make gambling on the sword in vanilla location in Charlock. Of course, in this tournament, seeding really means very little at this point. Thirwolf now going to buy some keys. SylverFyre going to level 9, 0 HP! I love it! A lot of MP, though.
I feel like you've got to say quite a bit tonight.
There have been a number of 0 stat gains, yes. Right now, the way this seed is going, it is trending toward the... You could see something... Well, 37 strength is not a lot at level 9, but that HP is just awful for this level. You could be seeing something like, as I believe last night's Nest Cardinality J-Cover match, where you just take a crazy gamble on high 80s, low 90s HP going down to fight the Dragon Lord if the strength is there and the MP is there.
Yeah, with it that low, you really need, like Jay Coper did last night, you really need obscene stats in all other categories. But it is possible. That is obscenely low HP.
Using SylverFyre, using a key to get a key, also finding the Stones of Sunlight and some more gold. And Tetsu pointing out that this is not looking like a Death Necklace seed. That is true right now, but the counterpoint is I have certainly seen seeds where you get to this point and you're like, oh, there's no way there's a death necklace in play here, and then you get 3 consecutive levels of like 20 HP, 30 HP, that kind of thing.
It's been a long.
But you're right. It's unlikely. Not gonna completely rule it out yet.
It's been a long time, but I think the way that the kind of the stat builds work. Last time I remember seeing obscenely low HP go into the double-digit levels, there was suddenly, I think, something like 66 HP in one.
Looks like we have a Grave of Garenham, and I believe that's its vanilla location. Finding a dragon scale, an herb, and we missed what the third item there was. And more gold, okay. And yes, thank you for the raid. Let's do the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Bracket stages.
I think this is always an interesting call. Oh, well, and a green dragon's going to make it 4 Syl here, but it's always an interesting call. If you decide to go ahead and try to get the 4th and 5th chest out of the grave, or if, having not seen Mountain Cave, if you decide to just forgo it for the time being, I think I'd be leaning towards having forgotten it anyway. But almost certainly, I don't think you're going to make a special trip after getting bounced like that.
Alright, meanwhile, SylverFyre setting up the gold grind, taking the gold from this chest over and over, robbing the treasury. So, would you like to explain how this works?
So, with the way the archaic, I guess, memory works with the game, it will only keep track of 8 chests having been opened, and every time you revisit the treasury, it's going to count that as 3 chests being opened. So between Garenham and the grave, Syl had already opened 6 chests, then over-flooded the memory here with the 3 chests in the Tantage throne room, and so had the freedom to just repeatedly open any of these treasury chests. In this case, going to rob enough gold to get the silver harp and the magic armor that we've already seen in nearby towns. So a pretty good idea, or perhaps not, but maybe, I'm not sure. I mean, the magic armor is pretty trivial. You're going to replace that shortly, but definitely going to get that silver shield.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they've seen in towns, but definitely gonna save up for, it looks like, the silver shield. Oh, wait. Oh, they're going back in. Okay. Interesting. Saving. Going back for more gold, sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe just kind of forgot, because I think, if I'm right about this, I'm pretty sure the magic armor was in Garenham, and I thought that Syl looked at it, but maybe not. It's hard to say. You're not always thinking about the magic armor, it's the least.
Right, I know there was a silver shield available in Rimmeldar. I think there was also a full plate there. I don't think magic armor was in Rimmeldar, but maybe saving up for both.
That's a good call out too. The full plate's a good option as well. It's the same defense. You don't get the, I think it cuts, magic armor cuts hurt more in half, if I'm right, or something close to that, and then it also regenerates hit points, 1 hit point per 4 steps, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. The magic armor is nice, but it's far from essential. And really, the full plate most times is going to be sufficient until you can acquire the Urdrit's armor. Especially here, since we have both heal and heal more available to our runners.
Wondering too, it was...
Commentary? No, Mario.
It was right at the amount to get a flame sword, maybe a momentary lapse for getting the brick sword. Hard to say. But I think Syl is on the way here to getting magic armor.
It looks like.
Yeah, that's bad timing from that golem, but it's not, again, the magic armor is not that big a deal. The big deal was getting the silver shield, because that's going to stick with you through the end. And now we get compared decision making for Thirwolf doing the gold grind to see how far he's going to take every.
Alright, so Thirwolf also initiating a gold grind here. Presumably get the silver shield and the magic armor, 2 places. CD Improv, he tried.
As we start looking forward towards what are we looking for next, now that we've done the gold grind and got that crossed off the list, we're really just concentrated on the search spots from here. So with the armor out there, the token out there, the token could be in a chest, but realistically, you're probably not going to need any more chests. It's at least reasonably possible that you won't need to open another chest here.
Right, so as far as essential items to beat the game, we're really just missing the Erdrick's token, which is going to be, it could be in a chest, but as you said, very unlikely. It's more likely to be in one of the 3 search spots, either in the village of Cole, the village of Hawksness, or on the world map, on the coordinates.
But realistically, I think we're down to, what, 9 chests remaining? I'm not sure if we've seen bonus cave or anything yet, but, I haven't seen any cursed belts. That's an indicator that, you know, if you see 2 cursed belts, you know everything is going to be, in a search spot. All 3 search spots will be full, but it's, you know, those 2 cursed belts could be in Charlock too, so... it's really hard to say.
Yeah, so there actually are some chests we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen the bottom 2 chests in Grave. We have not seen Mountain Cave at all, I don't believe. So 5 chests in there. And then I don't believe we have seen either Freebie Cave, the Stones of Sunlight, or the Tablet Cave. There are still some chests there where it could be. And additionally, the Fighter's Ring, which grants an extra 2 attack power, which is helpful, and the Death Necklace, which right now is not likely to be very useful. But that's also out there. The Death Necklace, A, curses you, and B, in the randomizer, it gives you an extra 10 attack power at the cost of 25% of your max HP. So you see Thirwolf. Casting Return. Interesting. And speaking of the Tablet Cave, SylverFyre actually did just discover that. I unfortunately missed what the item actually was. It looks like another magic key. Okay.
If it's me there, I don't think I would, especially without having outside, I probably wouldn't have looked, just with what we know already. Like you mentioned, a fighter's ring would be nice, and the token could be down. I guess I don't. It'd be hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would look just because it's there. It's a free chest. But on the other hand, you are still in this tournament and I am not, so...
Well, as you mentioned, that's really more or less just luck of the draw at this point with the single elimination rounds. But yeah, it's those little things I always like when I'm thinking my way through a seed. Those are the little things that I think are the most interesting. Is when can you skip a chest? When can you skip a cave? Yeah, because I mean, obviously the odds are going to be heavily in your favor that there's going to be nothing down there. And without the outside spell, it's a little chunk of time.
Alright, especially since Patrick's Cave, surprisingly tricky to navigate, that second floor in particular. As small as it is, and with the lack of enemies. Especially if you try to walk it in the dark, which SylverFyre did not do. Well, because of the lack of enemies, that can be dangerous. If you lose your way, you just kind of have to stumble your way back out until you either, I guess, reset in frustration, or you do manage to reorient yourself.
Yeah, I refuse to do that blind. To me, there's two things that I don't think I would do the basement levels of the grave blind yet, but that is easier than Erdrick's Cave to me. And like you said, there's just a big risk there with no enemies. You can't get lost. If you get lost, you're done for.
Yeah, I will do Swamp. I'll go from Swamp North to Swamp South, or vice versa in the dark. And I think one time I did the first dark basement in Charlock in the dark, just to see if I could do it. Other than that, give me like...
Yeah, the dark Charlock is definitely doable. I just find that second basement so annoying. I hate trying it, and I'm not that good at it. Thirwolf was that was a good call out. Thirwolf being at level 8 now, he sat at that kind of upper 500s experience for quite a while, and SylverFyre's gotten up to level 10. There hasn't been much. I mean, basically no HP growth, and there just hasn't been much. There's not been a breakout spell. Yeah, this is just a weird first 10 levels, in my opinion.
Alright, the heal and heal more kind of helpful. Certainly getting the sword, but that's... Other than that, yeah, the stat growth has really not been there yet. What have you missed? Mario the Cat giving co-commentary.
Yeah, and I think, as far as I'm aware, I don't see how I could have missed it with the experience total. But Thirwolf still has not taken down a Metal Slime, which at the rate we're seeing him is pretty unlikely. I do think, however, the magic armor, that defense is really an advantage right now over the half plate, just because those hit points are so low, and we know it's going to be at least another couple levels before you're going to see any hit point growth. So having all the defense you can get, I think, is a big advantage.
like to make a request of our tracker. Can we please add Mario the Cat to the Go commentary? Oh.
So now we can see, we know where the swamp cave is. This will be interesting to see how Thirwolf plays getting the coordinates.
Yep, gonna make it to the coordinates, it looks like.
First, oh, it's just
One
so
heal at a time,
tedious.
but, you know. "61 north, 20 east." I'm not sure how countable that actually is.
I haven't been mapping along here at all, but that seems like pretty rough placement to me. I think I would just make a break for the swamp cave whenever convenient.
Yeah, I think I would do that eventually. The problem is, with these stats, even with heal more, I don't think there's anything you're going to be able to kill that would be guarding the princess at this point.
Yeah, at this rate, we might need to be level 18 before you can even consider it.
Question for you, Mario, in chat. Says meow 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 meow. Meow? Want to say anything to your adoring fans? Or are you just gonna sit on my computer looking all majestic? Yeah, now you're shy.
Thirwolf is going to take a crack at it here. So we may see a searchable item here before too.
Yeah, he's gonna try it.
Maybe wrong. Did we have to go west to come back east? Or did I miss that?
Oh, finally, Thirwolf getting some metal slime walk with a critical hit there.
Yeah, at some point, the odds were just getting way too out of hand that he hadn't taken one down, so it's a big move. Really, with the amount that we're seeing them, I mean, this experience lead, as SylverFyre just validated the scene. This experience lead, anything's with this many metal slimes just kind of ever.
Yes, thank you for the raid. And SylverFyre does validate the seed, checking the Spark Over Bridge. The Spark Over Bridge, named for our resident Mistress of Bears, Spark Over. It is a bridge that leads to exactly one tile beyond it. Alright. So the coordinates were the token, which is a key item required, but probably honestly not what Thirwolf was looking for. Probably hoping for the armor there. Finding some gold in Freebie Cave number 2. SylverFyre going to refill their gold stash there, and presumably refill their keys as well. Yes, up to NG pointing out in chat that the token is a good find simply because it now means Thirwolf no longer has to search through any dungeons he finds if he doesn't want to. Since the only other quote-unquote essential item left would be the Erdrick's armor, and that cannot be in a treasure chest yet. I put essential in quotes there. Erdrick's armor technically not necessary to beat the game. But if you're in a situation where you're actually trying to beat the game without Erdrick's armor, you are either doing some kind of self-imposed challenge or in a race situation you have probably already lost. The Erdrick's armor does a bunch of different things. First off, it gives 28 defense power, which is the best defensive item in the game. It also recovers 1 HP with every step you take, and it makes you immune to damage tiles, both Swamp and Barrier. But that's not all. JJ, do you want to go over the rest of the cool stuff Erdrick's armor does?
Well, I caught you given that. I mean, the best defense, the damage tiles would have been nice for that Caitlyn walk at 30 HP, but yeah, stop spell resistance. It's the most broken armor I know of in any RPG.
Yep, it does make you immune to stop spell. It also, like the magic armor, cuts you or hurt more damage, or damage you take from hurt more in half. And finally, it also reduces the breath attack by about a third. Very useful.
Very useful.
Yeah, that's the most key, I think, of all of it. Is it's really unreasonable to think that you're going to win without the armor. I think specialty seeds have been done for it, from like Mr. Holmes and maybe High Spirits, but I don't think it's ever going to happen in an actual race. So Syl's about to get the coordinates as well, if they haven't already. Then it'll be interesting if Syl chooses to go straight full counting it out like Thirwolf did. Thirwolf was pretty confident, although the knowledge that it may be a very long time before you can kill a spike tile enemy might have swayed his decision. So this will be another one of those little interesting decisions. We know it's just the token and not anything super pressing, but obviously Syl does not know that yet.
Right. And it seemed like a surprisingly simple walk, given how far away the coordinates actually were.
Yeah, my impression of the map, obviously not drawing anything out or really keeping any mental track, was that was going to be way more difficult than it seemed to be with Thirwolf. So, good job counting there, and a good reward, as Up to NG I think pointed out in chat, and probably some others. Now you really can just skip all the chests. Death Necklace, for all intents and purposes, is a non-issue. The Fighter's Ring would be nice, but the 2 hour is just not going to be something you're going to go out of your way for. So it does help.
Yeah, Fighter's Ring would be nice, but not really worth diving dungeons you haven't already seen for it. I would probably check the Charlock Treasury once I get down there just to see if it's there. But other than that...
Yeah, checking the Charlock Treasury, you're going to have a lot of information there. So you'll know if it's going to be a big deal or not at that point. If you're at like 127 power or attack power at that point, you're definitely going to check it. You know, if you're much higher than that, you're probably going to forgo it. Hard to say.
Yeah, that is true. By the time you get there, you'll kind of know if it's going to be useful or not. And then, additionally, that group of chests is not that far out of the way, considering you're already at the bottom floor. So it might be worth checking that, especially if, as you said, you're kind of right on the board or you think it's doable. as is without the fighter's ring, but you know, it's gonna be, your odds are a coin flip or even a little less. That extra 2 attack power, especially depending on what it puts you over. If it gets you an extra minimum damage in addition to an extra maximum, that can actually be
Right, exactly. So the other thing with this HP being so low right now is, at least I don't think that I've seen any fun police, although there's no shortage of golem fists for faces right now.
No, I don't think we've seen any fun police. The fun police, the red dragons, we call them that because when you run into them, as From Burgundy likes to say, the fun tends to stop. Red dragon's basically the strongest normal enemy in the game. Very high strength, very high agility, so difficult to run from. High defense because of the high agility. May or may not have any particularly nasty abilities, but they really don't need them to make your life miserable.
So Syl's making the count, and there was a brief pause after that fight. I always find that's the most annoying when you're trying to count, is when you get to some of those desert tiles where it's a 1 in 8 encounter rate, and then it's just bang, 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 and I lose my train of thought so easy.
I have definitely done the same thing. I've hit an encounter and it's like, oh shoot, do I count that or not? Because you sort of start auto counting at kind of a cadence that gets interrupted when you run into a battle. So, Thirwolf fighting some wolves here.
I think just so close to level 10. Just wanted to top it off while close to a 10.
Yep, getting to level 10 now.
Oh, and the video's a little messed up, but you can tell that still got bounced back to the castle. I'm pretty sure that they did not make it to the token.
Pretty sure you're correct, yes. They got Green Dragon, I believe. Oh, interesting. See, improv. Wondering if maybe they accidentally went full screen?
That was my guess, just from looking at it, but well, that can happen depending on your setup.
Yeah, Zarnak's pointing out a specific scenario where you might want to try to win without the armor is with open slash, especially short Charlock, because besides the Dragon Lord Breath, which will just murder you without Erdrick's armor, the other big thing is actually the beginning of Charlock, all those barrier tiles you have to go through just to get into the throne and search and make it down into the actual basements.
That's a little sick twist to the first time you play through the game vanilla. You gotta figure out, after wasting some navigation through empty staircases, you gotta search a bunch of barrier tiles. And just like that, it looks like Syl's screen maybe magically at least cropped to the other corner, so maybe we can see what's going on. Other than we can tell, no matter what that screen looks like, that there's been just some deaths, which is not unreasonable with this HP, but might be another thing to note with Thirwolf's walk to get that token was getting anywhere without dying is pretty difficult right now.
Yeah, so... There we go. Okay, looks like we're back to normal here. Or at least close enough to it.
Which is an easy way to get tilted. So I think I've only seen one race where somebody got to 100 deaths, and with this HP, it may be possible. I know we're pretty far from it now, but...
Yeah, Thirwolf now only one level behind, about 700 experience. I want to say they've closed the gap a little bit there, as far as the experience goes.
And just, this encounter, I mean, we're seeing a lot of Drakies over on Syl's screen now. I'm not sure what the enemy they're looking for is, but that's unfortunate. I'm not sure with the attack power so high. I'm not too fluent in the whole way that repel works, but it seems like repel is going to also run off whatever Syl wants to kill here, which is unfortunate.
Right, I don't know the exact thresholds for that, so... So we're about an hour, 5 minutes in. A brief recap. The Silver Harp was in the throne room. The Stones of Sunlight were in the back of Garenham. The Erdrick's token was on the world map. Erdrick's sword was in the treasury, and we don't actually know where the armor is yet. It'll be either in Cole or in Hawksness, one of the two. We have seen neither of them. Additionally, the Fighter's Ring and the Death Necklace are still out there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it very early on, but there is the whole thing with Syl is going to be on strength agility for the rest of the seed. I mean, there's no going back now. So what they're going to run up against is that those little HP growths that we are seeing, they're going to start to be smaller and smaller in comparison to Thirwolf's. You can see they're already even there, and with Thirwolf having the magic armor, the defense, he's still better at defense even with a lower agility, and the magic armor's taking away... I mean, Syl is still getting one shot by hurt wars, whereas that magic armor is giving Thirwolf a lot more survivability just from the hurt war perspective.
Yeah, that is very true about the magic armor, that hurt more resistance, giving Thirwolf a little bit more of a selection of things you can choose from to fight a little bit more safely. Still taking down another metal slime.
That is the great equalizer, though. If you just get a little better luck against something so big in experience as this metal slime is, I mean, it's just gonna keep that lead. It's so hard to make up 255 experience points in any other way right now.
Yeah, SylverFyre now with about 1,000 experience point lead. I'm pretty sure most of that is metal slime kills. Brat pointing out in chat that we saw an example of the Hurtmore resistance, or lack thereof, on SylverFyre's side. The Wraith that one-shot Hurtmore, SylverFyre, Thirwolf would have survived that. Or at least that attack.
And they don't have stop spell, which obviously that'd be a whole nother thing. If they had stop spell, the Hurtmore wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is. As it is, that's another thing we don't have.
And SylverFyre 12 off of there's a power. And 5 full hit points and Hurtmore. So.
Well, now.
Meanwhile, Thirwolf behind my hole. This could be big. Oh, and there's nothing. It could be big, it is not.
So, Hawksness it is, and it's going to be very interesting to see what that spike tile is going to be, because it may be a very long time before you're comfortable taking down a red dragon, but SylverFyre could take out an Axe Knight right now, no problem, so...
Yeah, people mentioning that even with Hurtmore, you, I think, pretty much have to pray for an Axe Knight at the spike tile at this point, because that and maybe an Armored Knight is the only thing you have a reasonable chance of killing.
Yeah,
because
think
the defense is so low.
I think the defense is maybe high enough that you could reasonably think the Armored Knight wouldn't hit you by 37, and I would think certainly not 42. Well, I shouldn't say certainly not, it certainly could hit you that hard, but you wouldn't think it would be reasonable for 42.
Yeah, I think at 42, depending on what your defense is, it might be able to hit you that hard, but I would probably take that chance.
Thirwolf has taken advantage of some of this time with that token to take care of the legwork, has the rainbow drop. Really just that armor. I mean, that's all, like Up2NG said, it would have been grind and go. Where he would have started grinding at that point would have been hard to say, but...
Right, that's the thing with the stats and everything where it's at is... Yes, you'd be in grind and go, but on what?
Should we open it up to chat so we see where the stat growth kind of leads us to at level 12 here? It'll be a little different for Thirwolf, but when do we think? Is this another level 20? Or I'm thinking we're probably... I don't know, it's hard to say.
Thirwolf going to level 11. We have seen Swamp, we have not seen what the spike tile is, though. Because SylverFyre just very recently got Hurtmore at level 12, and before that, even with Healmore, the HP being what it was, there's nothing there that our runners were actually going to be able to defeat, so... Barring a miracle critical hit, I suppose. So while we wander the world here, a brief shout out to our people working behind the scenes here. CD Improv doing the restream, and Nally Gerbrap tracking, making sure you know what items and things our runners have attained. And of course, my co-commentator stepping in at the last minute here, JJ Schmidt, 77. My name is Emptyeye. And SylverFyre about to get the bad news here at goal. I'll be honest, I tend to check again or check the radius immediately around the search spot in goal if I see but there found nothing, even though intellectually I know that is a possibility.
Just don't want to believe.
Exactly. I'm like, no, I searched the wrong spot. There's something here, right?
I think that's at least the 5th metal slime, and it may be the 6th. I haven't been keeping a great score, but man, I mean, that's realistically the difference between, I mean, I think Thirwolf has 1, so it's pretty close to the whole experience gap. Yeah, I always like throwing, if I miss a couple physical and a metal slime, I like throwing a hurt out there. It's a 1 in 16 chance. It's worth 2 points, and it's hard to think that they're going to stick around for 3 more turns if you haven't hit them after a couple.
SylverFyre reaches level 13. Another 5 hit points. Putting them less than halfway to where they want to be.
I think it's reasonable to think that Thirwolf at strength and HP will only have maybe 50 or 51 HP by the time we get to level 13, which is just god-awful.
Yeah, this is not great HP growth at all. Mario the categories. Not great HP right now. Huh. What was that? I said not great HP and he snorted at me. Huh.
Well, maybe Mario 2 loves terrible stat gains. I don't know. They've taken a little bit of risk there, wash off that wizard, but I don't know, it's still very, I mean, he's very close to Hurtmore, and then I think they're about even. I don't know, what are you thinking, Emptyeye? This, to me, this looks pretty even where we're standing right now. It's just hard to say, especially with the metals running around, and I'm guessing Thirwolf's trying to grind them right now, which is not the worst idea by the stretch of the mains here. And
Yeah, it looks like Thirwolf is in is just metal slimes, wizards, and golems. The wizards are actually not terrible experience. They're actually pretty good experience.
Yeah, they're probably by far the best that you can hope to regularly kill with their statistics right now.
Uh-oh. You see the spike tile, and it's the fun police. Wee-oo, wee-oo.
Good thing those coordinates were countable. we might
Yes.
have been here quite a while. If the runners are lucky, though, that may be the only red dragon they see the whole seed.
Yes, up to NG pointing out in chat is looking like an overworld grind or whatever we find in Hawk's Nest. Maybe it's hopefully an Axe Knight or something like that.
Thirwolf's gonna take a peek. I mean, I can't fault him. It would, to me, oh, okay, maybe not. Just putting the bridge up, might as well.
Yeah, sure, while you're over there. Take a look immediately around, see what's there.
Now,
Let's find Hawk's Nest.
Interesting. Let's see. Well, that is less than encouraging. I mean, there's nothing. Even if we don't have the flute, but even if we did have the flute, I don't know that at that HP there's really much you can do except hope that it never woke up.
Right, so with the HP as low as it is, and because Golem's very resistant to hurt more, I can see the case for trying to dig a cave and maybe get some experience at the same time looking for the flute here. Though, as you said, the flute. Oh, is he gonna go for this? Oh, no, that went poorly.
And I would have definitely walked in if, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you expect to maybe happen there, but I would have definitely looked in Charlock first there. That, I mean, as you just got hurt more, let's roll right in there and see if your first couple encounters aren't Axe Knights. Maybe you get a couple more wizards too. I mean, there's definitely some enemies you can kill in Charlock.
Yeah, I would have, even before getting hurt more, arguably, since I was over there, maybe just scout for information at top of Charlock. So you have some idea of how difficult your dive down is going to be, or at least the start of your dive down.
That power is looking pretty good now. I mean, it's definitely reasonable. Yeah, up to and G must have the idea there. Must be, I mean, it was possible. Well, I don't know. We've seen enough golems just punch people in the face at this point. I think you would think that that's what it would do.
Yeah, I can see the case for, take the gamble, see if you get the critical hit, but even with the critical hit, with 108 attack, he was not going to be able to one shot.
SylverFyre just got a really unlucky dodge, it looks like. I'm not sure where on the map they were, but a werewolf dodged and then murdered them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I'm seeing that there's Axe Knights in this desert from chat, and there's one now, yeah. So this is wonderful. That's a great find.
And does take down the Axe Knight in one hurt more. It is not actually a guarantee. It's about a 2/3 chance, all told, that you will kill an Axe Knight in one hit.
So now, depending on Syl's metal slime luck, while they're traversing caves here, it's going to be that experience leave may be precarious right now.
Thirwolf does have the exploration edge right now, having opened Charlock.
And I'm noticing
SylverFyre gonna get the bad
SylverFyre.
Out. Our pal, Fun Police. Sending them back to the start.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too, now, this might have just been because Syl's goal there was to see that spike tile, but I noticed that Syl was running away from wizards, which may be another product of having the half plate and not the magic armor, just for those few defense points.
Right, maybe. So, speaking of stats, you'll notice that a couple of these stats are orange. And the stats are kind of color-coded. At the start of the seed, you probably saw some red stats, which are just bad beginning stats. There's also a kind of flashing red, which is the absolute worst possible starting value for a stat, which we thankfully did not see on this seed. White means you're kind of making the climb up in stats. Orange, which we see a couple here, are what I like to call context sensitive, where you look at it and you think, maybe this is good enough, it kind of depends on my other stats, and then green means you're good to go and kill the Dragon Lord based on that stat. I feel like SylverFyre's gotten kind of unlucky with, well, A, the critical hit after the Hurt Ball cast on that Green Dragon, but also B, the surprise luck. I feel like Silver's getting back a lot.
Yeah, those 3 critical hits on Nettle Slimes, at least 3, those are the ones I've seen. But the seed may be exacting a little revenge, trying to even things out a little.
Yes, that is fair.
Now with
Thirwolf reaching level 30.
Still, I might have been a little generous thinking that Thirwolf would be at 50 HP at this point. But we're about to see... Yep, just enough on Syl's side.
Oh boy, level 14 for SylverFyre. 1 hit point and 0 MP! Oh, I love it!
I think the 1 hit point is almost more disrespectful than just a solid 0 right there.
Yeah.
We've got some newcomers in chat here, and, well, we're only 87 minutes in and at 49 HP, so that about tells you the whole story. Yeah, Wicked Gamer Dude's prediction of 21 HP at level 14 was about 20 HP off, apparently.
Just a bit off. Yeah.
But thank you for trying.
Yes. So Mr. Holmes, going back to an earlier chat discussion about the Erdrick's armor or lack thereof, pointing out that kind of what I said earlier, the one time they've ever done it, it was an intentional challenge as part of beating the game without equipment. I think in all the tournaments that we've seen, I believe early on there may have been one person who tried it one time in one race and quickly realized, oh, this is really not going to work.
Valiant effort on that red dragon, but not good enough there.
Yes, Mario the Cat lending his expert analysis. Okay.
Well, in this case, I agree with Mario. I do think that this is a great move here, at least to just check out Charlotte. It's a really good chance you're going to find a good enemy set, or at least a killable one at this point. Looks like Syl is in Mountain Cave. No, I know, I have not seen Syl go back to the count at all. I would be surprised if they haven't, but at least at this point, unless somebody can prove otherwise, I don't think Syl has the token knowledge yet. And the only clue they might have now is just that cursed belt. Having just picked that up tells you it's that much less likely that any search spot's going to be empty. Or I guess we already know Cole's empty, so we know that the armor is in either the search spot if you're Syl or in Hawk's Nest. So I would think you would bust right out that count at this point.
Alright, I was trying to find a highlight from way back in my stream where Mario the Cat, according to the W split, beat Mega Man 700% in approximately half a second, but I can't find it now. So, looks like Thirwolf has settled on the top of Charlotte grind here.
Yeah, it's working out decently. So I think he shaved about 500 points off the lead, give or take, and about to make that even more here with this Armored Knight. I mean, even if it's just Wizards, Armored Knights, and Stonemen, I might just be tempted to run from the Stonemen and just make do with the other two and see what else happens to pop up here. I haven't seen anything else yet myself. So Mr. Holmes is making a good point there. You could, if you were, I think we're about maybe 10 more attack power off or so. But if you really wanted to, you could find a middle slime zone, pop the death necklace on, get what you need for experience by fighting Moth, and then go back to Breckenary, which we have seen. Pop the death necklace right back off and make your dive.
So question in chat, we typically hit a level that catches up on the deficient stats. I would say typically yes, but the thing is, at this point, even if we hit a big, say, 30 HP level, that still puts us well short of where we want to be for Dragon Lord 2.
Oh yeah. No, we need a couple 30s at this point. Well, maybe not quite, but you get my gist. So Thirwolf is able to survive all the way to the end of his MP there, so I think that was a pretty successful voyage in there to Charlock. It's hard to see. It's hard to say how much longer we're going to need to get this grind going, but obviously that red dragon is not what you want to grind on with this low HP, really, no matter how high the attack power gets. Maybe if you get up in that 150 range or something to that effect. So Syl did pick up the necklace, and it's possible that at the very end of this grave is going to be a fighter's ring. At this point, though, I'm not real certain what Syl has for a goal here, doing this dive, other than just liking the enemies, which is fair. Either way, getting rewarded with a torch is not what they had in mind. But Thirwolf has pretty much made this experience gap up at this point.
Yeah, with this grind that Thirwolf is on here. Yeah, they have just about caught back up here. There's a critical miss on SylverFyre's side there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we may be here a while before Thirwolf can even take on that golem, though. It's just... I'm not sure if the red dragon hits harder than the golem, personally. I know it's close either way, and it's ridiculous, but... I don't know... I mean, the defense is pretty good for level 14 without the armor, so it's just hard. I don't know. If you get maybe upper 60s, you might be able to reasonably take down that golem.
So close. It was fairy, but unfortunately it was fairy water.
So if we put the over-under at 88 HP, do we think it'll be higher or lower than that as the winning contestant on all HP map? This is interesting too. I don't think Syl is considering necessarily doing another gold grind and trying to die, but it's getting pretty good at one-shottable or otherwise killable enemies in this zone, and really the experience lead is kind of just floating between the two. It's kind of interesting to watch this happen.
Yeah, Thirwolf getting a little unlucky there with the dodge, getting sent back to the start.
Yeah, that evens out that unlucky dodge Syl had against the werewolf earlier. But yeah, I think he was down to about 12 HP, so it's not terrible by any means.
SylverFyre also getting sent back to the start there. I believe was what they wanted.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the way the screen kind of got a little screwy on us in the middle of the run, I don't know that we can 100% say it still doesn't have the token, but I think we're all working off that assumption right now. And as we approach the point where this whole metal slime idea would be doable, I'm just going to throw out that I would have never thought of using the death necklace too. And Thirwolf doesn't have it anyway, but I would never have thought to put it on just to kill metal slimes. So kudos to Mr. Holmes and Zarnax and whoever else is coming up with those type of ideas.
So I like Gerberat pointing out in chat that with the MP, you could do a dive for either the flute or a more general information dive here. And that was actually kind of a question that I had, is if you were Thirwolf here, would you do that? Would you just kind of stick around on this top floor and grind until you were a little bit more confident in your HP?
Well, yeah, Thirwolf has definitely proven that that you can survive the top two floors. I would be thinking it's worth a flyer. You're there anyway. Yeah, I would think that it's definitely reasonable to take a crack at it. The problem there is I mean, maybe this is weighing in that I think Thirwolf has skipped a lot of overworld chests yet. So, I don't know, I would probably take a flyer on that. But I'd understand just not thinking about it either, because the fairy flute could easily be in Mountain Cave from Thirwolf's perspective, as far as I know.
Question from chat: are experience amounts for levels the same as vanilla? So, the Dragon Warrior Randomizer, the short answer is no, but the long answer requires a little bit of explanation. So, first of all, the Dragon Warrior Randomizer adjusts the value of enemies so that it matches the re-releases like the Super Famicom and the Game Boy Color version. So enemies in general give a lot more experience in gold than you may remember. The other thing is the standard flag set makes a further adjustment so that the experience table is basically 75% of what it is normally. So to get to level 30, which hopefully we won't be doing here, in the vanilla game you need the maximum 65,535 experience. In the typical flag set you raise for the randomizer, that number is about 49 to 50,000 to get to max level. The other thing is that the randomizer is this is a very atypical seed. The randomizer randomizes its stats such that far from a guarantee, but typically around level 16 is where it aims to kind of have the peak of the bell curve for the level that you would typically be ready to go defeat the Dragon Lord at. But with this abysmal HP, barring a huge level up at level 16, we're going to be going beyond that.
Yeah, now as we kind of shift our focus to that question we tossed around earlier, how much hit points is enough to take down this golem? I'd be looking close to 70, yeah, personally. Which, again, we're at level 15 now, and we're at 54 HP, so we're pretty far away from there yet.
Yeah, the attack power looks decent as far as defeating the golem, but again, it's that HP, like you said, that's gonna be very frequently that's gonna be a range where you're gonna heal and you're gonna immediately have to heal or heal more again without even getting an attack in.
We're seeing Thirwolf didn't come back to Charlock. Well, now he takes a turn. I'm not sure. He might just be walking left now, but he might be doing the dive to see if the flute's down there. It's reasonable, and you're there anyway. Hard to say. I would probably do it. But Thirwolf has got a good grind going here, too, so it's just as reasonable to think that you're going to get a massive HP boost. And that's really the last thing that you need. We're pretty close on attack power, to be honest. We need maybe, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 more power, somewhere in there with the MP, or we could get an MP boost. So I think it's probably the better decision from Thirwolf's perspective to just sit here and grind this top floor until you're ready to kill that golem, and then you're pretty much going to be ready to go kill the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, so question in chat about when you would dive for the flute, if you would dive for the flute. And I don't know that I would dive just for the flute. Although I might try to, if I'm going to try to make it all the way to the bottom, I might try and see if I can get the information of additionally what's in the spike tile down there leading up to the Dragon Lord as well.
Yeah, that would be if you're Thirwolf and you decided, hey, I'll just take a flyer, I'll see if this food's down here. That might be a good consolation too, is you roll over and it's a hurt moreable enemy on the spike tile. That would be pretty useful right now, at least for maybe making up the time lost on the dive to begin with. And SylverFyre's crack at the golem here did not pan out yet either. Even less, as we said again with the build here, even less HP than Thirwolf, and just not reasonable.
Yep, a valiant effort, maybe possibly hoping for a critical hit there on the second attack, but unfortunately nothing doing.
I think as Syl turns back towards the castle here real quick, we may see a second attempt at the count. Or we might just see a golem's fist. What do we have here? We're pretty close to this level 16.
And 6 hit points.
I just don't know. We didn't even get an extra heal more out of that.
Oh.
At 120 attack power, somebody that knows the stats of this game better could tell you. I'm guessing you probably need 6 or 7 attacks on the golem. I don't know. I just don't think it's reasonable yet. It's not gonna take a lot of time to shoot up there real quick and give it a shot at 60 HP, but I don't think I like the odds per se. But you only need to do it once. I don't know. And it's really, a couple people have pointed out in chat, it really doesn't matter. You're going to be grinding in Charlock either way, so he already has the magic armor. There's not a lot. I mean, nothing is fire breathing him on that top level of Charlock, so there's really not a whole lot of incentive to waste any time getting up that golem now.
Looks like Thirwolf may be taking a crack at this now with 60 HP.
I like it. Defense at 80 is pretty good, but I still think more attacks than not are going to hit by more than 30 from the golem.
Oh, wow, okay. Getting lucky so far. And there's the problem, the hit for 38.
He's got enough heal mores to make a run at this, but not if it's going to be regular hits of 35 to 40.
Again, surviving with 1 hit point.
Yeah, it's been very lucky so far.
And he does it!
Yeah, those were better rolls than I was anticipating, but and got obviously two 1 hit point survivals. I think that was remarkable. I definitely would just go back to the first floor of Charlock.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think consistently grinding this golem is a no-go for the moment.
Yeah, it's not just that it's a red dragon, and it's not just that it's a golem, but it's that they don't even have any abilities. I mean, obviously, Dragonlord 2 Breath would be even worse, but if they had Stop Spell or Hurt, or even Hurt more that you could Stop Spell yourself, but that's just pretty rough to try to take down these enemies with nothing going your way.
So Thirwolf now officially in grinding mode.
Yeah, officially. There was one desert with Axe Knights pretty regularly, but I think that from what I could tell, this first floor of Charlock's been just a little better.
Yeah, it feels like this is the spot to be right now. This is a very interesting seed in that at least for the moment, the the wandering grind, if you will, is the better grind. It's the better play. In most other seeds, even if your only option is like a red dragon or a golem or a stone man, that still tends to be the optimal grind spot, even if it's not great, just because of the sheer encounter density, where you can immediately go back, you know, take it 2 steps, and hey, you're fighting again. The sheer number of encounters, even if a given encounter is hard to survive or takes a while, tends to make up for the fact that they kind of balance one another out, and the grind spot tends to come out ahead on average. This is one of the rare exceptions where we're late in the seed at level 16, but you still don't want to take that grind spot if you can help it.
And the good news for our racer and our wonderful restreamer is at any level now, because we've seen so many consistently so low at every stat, any level could really just blow this up and push us over the edge. Yeah, I think still, I don't know, it'll be interesting if still kind of pulls a rabbit out of the hat here and thinks of that Death Necklace play that we were talking about earlier. That would be really interesting. They have been everywhere.
And the Thirwolf now with the decided experience advantage. Close to 2,000 experience now.
I don't know, it was a few different decisions and a little bit of luck. I think the big thing, Syl was on the way to get that magic armor and got bounced by a golem. And I think I said at the time it was not a big deal, and it just the way the stats grew, that turned out to be a big deal in very tiny increments over time.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. As we mentioned, the being able to survive Hurtmores and arguably even the tiny bit of healing it provides did actually probably come into play here, as you said, not any one definitive moment, but just sort of throughout the seed, where SylverFyre took some deaths that Thirwolf would have survived, or vice versa.
Yeah, and the HP growth hasn't been such that the stat builds themselves are a big deal, but you certainly have a good amount of agility for level 16. I think if you had the choice, you're going to take the HP build every time, knowing what the stats did in this seed.
Well, 17 bringing another 2 hit points.
Have we seen more than, say, 10? I think maybe we saw a 10 or 11 once in one stat. But this has just been a ton of single-digit levels and a fair amount of Emptyeyes, a lot of 1s and 2s. Oh, man.
I think we saw one full digit. I want to say we might have seen like an 11 early on. And that's really bad than the 1.
Man. 62, I just can't even believe it, seeing it. I mean, for anybody that's been watching most of the tournament matches here recently, I know we had an absolutely abysmal HP seed last night with Ness Cardinality and Jake Cooper. And I think this is far worse. I mean, I don't have a great memory of when the stats did what last night, but I don't think that they only had 62 HP at level 17.
Just the chat doing some math. At the rate of 2 HP per level, we will get the 96 to 97 HP we're looking for at level 34. But if we average 5 HP a level from here on out, we'll get there at level 24. So, woohoo.
It's just crazy. And normally, there's no reason to think this, but just playing the game over time, you kind of get used to the idea that, you know, if one stat's pretty bad, another stat is going to be just unreasonably high to counteract that. And that's really not the case here. I even think, just from, I mean, MP's pretty good, but attack power is low. Most seeds you have way better attack power than this at 17. Agility's pretty decent, but nothing's really blowing it out of the water. I mean, Thirwolf has the best defensive equipment out there, and his defense power is only 87. I mean, that's pretty bad. I just don't recall a seed where all 4 stats were this poor to mediocre.
Alright, yeah, Wizzy C in chat noting the race last night. I think they meant 19, not 10, but not only was the strength way higher, but the MP was also a good deal higher, and even with that, it came down to the final attack. Thirwolf, by the way, defense breaking wizards now.
Yeah, we will start to see that. I mean, at this point, like I said, you would think you'd have better defense power than where Thirwolf's at with that equipment, but at least now you're going to start to see more and more things become defense broken, and that's going to make this top floor Charlock even better. Actually, I don't know if it matters. The Wizard's really the only one, I think, within the next few defensive points that you're going to defense break that we're seeing regularly, so that's actually a pretty big threshold to...
So, SylverFyre thinks they're in the right general area. But...
yeah, it's never good to see the kind of flailing about. I've been there too many times myself. Yeah, that's a real shame. But again, understandable just with everything going on, and Thirwolf got it pretty quickly after trying the first time. But, yeah, it does not look to be an easy count by any stretch.
And Thirwolf gonna take a shot at the fun police here. I don't know that I like this play, quite frankly. And this is why. They hit hard.
Yeah, the good news for Thirwolf is I don't think it's going to take him long to change his mind, but I mean, that's tough. I guess it's I think just, yeah, a little bit inexperienced, but I think that it's not... I think if you're him and you don't know all the formulas, you would just expect that at some point the other stats would pick up the fact that the HP is not there.
No, that is not... Yeah. Yeah, this looks like simple inexperience here. That hurt more, not likely to work.
Yeah, it takes just over 2 wizards to equal the same experience you're getting from this red dragon. And I know it's a spike tile versus, I think, a 1 in 16 encounter rate, but you're just not going to kill those dragons at this point with 60 health. It's just not going to happen. Not regularly.
Right, and yeah, question in chat, aren't red dragons immune to hurt more? Short answer, effectively yes. Long answer, it is technically a 15 out of 16 resistance. So you have a 1 in 1 chance to hit a red dragon with your hurt more. Not technically immune, also not a strategy you want to rely on.
So, still did take down that red dragon at this point, though, and will get the princess, which is big. So, we will see them getting the token quickly and the disappointment that will soon follow. So at this point, it might be a relief to know that it wasn't a simple count away from the armor. You might just be happy that it's the token and it didn't make that big of a difference.
Right. And as predicted, Thirwolf did change his mind. He's back in Charlotte grinding away here.
Yeah, and I can't, by no means am I going to fault Thirwolf for being 2 hours into a seed and just giving a few things a try. Especially, like I say, these little flyers he's taking on things like this red dragon, it's not costing him a lot of time to feel it out. So, yeah, I think it's smart to give things a try, and he is ultimately coming back to what I think we're all in agreement on is the best grind available to them right now.
Sure, and this is a very highly unusual seed. As I pointed out earlier, it is very rare, I would think, that even an experienced player is, not going to say, hey, I want to grind at a grind spot. There's progress. Level 18 bringing 11 hit points.
Yeah? Was that an Emptyeye power? Or I guess, was it 1? I missed what the power.
I don't believe so. I think there was some power there.
Some power. We're still not looking good in power. So we're at, what is that? Not even. Again, we're just 1 magic point shy of a 14th heal more, I think, if I'm doing my math right. And
Right, so we're currently at 7 to 14. So yeah, that's not looking great.
Somewhere in the 10.5 range for an average. So you're gonna need somewhere around probably 15 to 16 attacks. And yeah, it's just, you're not gonna get, obviously we're not there with HP anyway, but you're not gonna get any doubles to speak of, so. Back to the grind we go. I need to come up with a new game. We couldn't play the pyramid game. The level game's pretty off here. I mean, I'm hoping nobody will.
I don't know what we can do. You could check the pyramid for the fighter's ring, I suppose.
That's true, you did bring that up, and we're right in that attack power range where the fighter's ring can make a pretty sizable difference. So it looks like Syl was about maybe 3 or 4 steps off on the count previously. So valiant effort on the count, but has now obtained the token.
Alright, looks like SylverFyre does have the token now.
And we're about 900 experience away from finding out if level 19. I would love to see it just shoot 100% the opposite direction and get like a 65 HP gain here at 19 and shoot us right into necklace usage, and then Thirwolf would have to think about, do I need to go back and find this death?
Right. It's always fun when you have a seed where you have struggled so far with one stat, and then you get the magic level where that stat just slingshots past everything else. And you would never know what a struggle the seed was by how everything ended up.
Yeah, ultimately, Syl looking for the fairy flute and not finding it really is what did the experience thing here. I mean, it really came down to those couple little things we've already talked about, but the fact that Thirwolf just decided, hey, I'm gonna grind for whatever level I need to beat this golem and worry about it later. And still did a bunch of extra exploration. Is now using the death necklace, might be thinking about this metal slime grind, but other than that, it did not pay any dividends.
Right, and so earlier in the chat, we had people mentioning that Thirwolf could consider maybe one of the spike tiles. I still think 73 HP is a little bit low to really make that worthwhile. Because you really want to be able to, at the very least, guarantee yourself surviving 2 consecutive attacks, so you can do the, I guess you'd call it the Dragon Lord 2 strat, attack, heal more, as opposed to having to double heal more, potentially. I don't think you're there on either the Golem or the Red Dragon with 73 HP.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. So we're seeing. Again, kudos to Syl for. I would have never put this together. I really don't think so. Although, at 2 hours and 10 minutes, you have a lot of time to contemplate all sorts of things. But doing this metal slime grind with the death necklace is a great idea. It's about the only thing that might save the run, I think.
Yeah, definitely,
Well, the good news is we're good on power now at level 19.
Yep, we're now doing 10 on the Dragon Lord.
We're literally good on every other stat. We're up to 15 heal mores. So now...
Moore's defense power 91, so Dragon Lord 2 hitting for a max of 47 on physicals now. Which is marginally helpful, I suppose.
Yeah, we're now at the point where we just have to see if Thirwolf, A, did Thirwolf watch the race last night? And B, is Thirwolf going to try to beat that new tournament record of 88 hit points of winning? Let's see if it's 87 tonight, maybe. I don't know. It looks like, at least in the desert that Syl's in, it's not speeding up the grind at all to be doing the metal slimes. I do think it's definitely the best option. Well, I don't know. It's just hard to say with the lower hit points, but now with the death necklace on, you definitely have to stick to this metal slime grind or get rid of the death necklace.
So, 2NG in chat pointing out this is again looking like the J. Coper Nest Carnality race. I can definitely see that potentially being a thing, as you also mentioned, JJ. Especially simply, if for no other reason than kind of being on tilt after 2 hours and 15 minutes plus. Where you're just like, oh, I just want this to end, I'm going. But even still, that is a gutsy play, because with the HP that low, yes, you have plenty of heal mores, but that is not a guarantee. We saw J. Coper's attack power was in like the low 150s. I think it was 152 when he went. And even with that, and with his MP in the 120s, it still came down to the last attack for him.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully we get a nice big HP boost here at level 20. Who knows? This grind is just getting much faster with those bigger boosts in attack power. At this point, yeah, at this point, the experience lead is just getting exponential.
Hitting that green tracking for 51. With the Armored Knight strategy that Thirwolf is using, it's a tiny misplay if you're going to do the heal more and attack, especially with the attack power being as high as. That's a minor thing.
Yeah, you definitely want, I think, yeah, I don't know, hard to say. I think you want to do the hurt more first, but... It looks like, not sure, I haven't been... Still got a pretty good boost there. I just don't think the metal slimes in this area are too prevalent either. Well, and they're not sticking around is the problem.
Right, that's the other issue. Even if you find metal slimes, you do still need to hit them at this point. I believe it's 20 at least.
Yeah, you're making it way more likely when you guarantee that you'll kill them in 2 to 3 turns, but that's still, 2 or 3 different opportunities that it has to run away from you as well.
So, another few enemies here, and Thirwolf should hit level 20. SylverFyre goes to level 18 now.
Yeah, with that, I think Zarnax was very timely in putting in all the links to all the various things and resources we have for the community. If any of these vast numbers that are flying around in chat and these conversations are going over your head, Get in there, take a look. There's basically an an infinite amount of combination of things that can happen in this game, which I think is why it's so well received and such a great game to play. So you can always find yourself working out new, different little math problems and statistics, probabilities, things like that make this game something you just keep coming back to. So give it a shot if you're interested at all, and we've got tons of people that love to talk things through and help out in the community. So don't hesitate to jump in on the next race, or definitely get in the Discord and leaf around, see what you can find.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be put off by this seed. This is an extreme outlier. As we go to level 20, our max HP 78. That's great.
Yeah, I think we definitely, a lot of times at this point, I think it's reasonable to think that you could have completed almost 2 seeds at this point, on average.
Yeah, 2 particularly quick seeds I think you could actually probably do. Oh, your rep asking in chat, level 21, yes, is 22,500 experience. At this point, it is going to be 3,000 experience per level, except for level 29 to 30, which is slightly less.
It's definitely possible to attempt fighting the Dragon Lord at this level, but the HP being at 78 and the defense being at 93, you're just... I think it's 50-50 fire to physical attack. And the fire is definitely going to take more than half your HP. And I think a good amount of the physicals are still going to take at or about 39. So, yeah, no. Basically, no, it's not.
Right, can you attempt it? Certainly. Is it, or would it still be certain death? Yeah, it's as close to certain death as you can get, essentially. Because even if you decide, oh, what the heck, let's try and land 3 Hurtmores, which is not a strategy any sane person would ever do, you don't have the HP to be able to necessarily survive kind of the attacks in between to alternate heal more, hurt more, heal more, hurt more.
Yeah, so at this point, with 143 attack power, pretty good defense, it might be worth, at this point, going back to the Red Dragon. So it'll be interesting to see if Thirwolf, when this MP runs out, does he go to the Red Dragon? Does he maybe try to grind on the dive? Or does he just come back and finish out level 21? It's going to be a tough call.
We had a couple questions in chat about experience and the max level. The maximum level in the game is 30, and because of the flag set that we are using, it's the standard race flag set. Part of that is the experience requirements are reduced to 3/4 of what they were previously. So the actual experience you need to get to level 30 in this is around 49 to 50,000. But yes, you're right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when this HP or when this MP runs out for Thirwolf. If they decide to dive, if they decide maybe to go beat up some red dragons, because 78, I think, is at the point where it's probably okay to make scale.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I don't have most of the stats memorized or anything like that, but at 93 defense, I think a red dragon hit for 39 would be pretty rare, if possible at all.
I think their max would be 37. But, we don't know for a fact.
Don't know for a fact. So, then you've got... I think you're probably reliably three-shotting the red dragon, I would guess.
Yeah, I would think. Probably 3 shots average the red dragon.
I think, honestly, this metal slime grind idea, unfortunately, just the way things have worked out with stat growth as the levels progressed, has lost more ground experience-wise for SylverFyre. Just unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I did like the play though. I appreciate the. I don't necessarily want to say Hail Mary because I think they thought it was their best play, and maybe it was. But I like the kind of unusual. Sometimes the unusual gambles people will sometimes take. Thank you, couch for the raid.
Yeah, just unfortunate. I think a couple of things worked against Syl here. I think it's just as reasonable from Syl's perspective that the top floor of Charlock would have a golem, have red dragons, have things that would make it not as hospitable for grinding as it was, and we got another level, and oh my goodness.
Alright, oh boy. And SylverFyre does remove the Death Necklace.
Well, I will say there's typically one seed a year that goes 3 hours, and I don't think we've seen, I think, more than our fair share of 2 or plus seeds this year, but I don't think we've seen any that have gone 3 hours yet.
Well, yeah, we're doing 11 to 23 at this point to Dragon Lord 2.
And Tilo in chat's correcting me, saying we did in fact have a 3-hour seed already, so this seed has no excuse for this action here. Yeah, I don't know it for a fact, but I heard somebody say last night that the highest level finish in the tournament was 23. I don't recall what that would have been or when that would have happened, but we're only 2 away now, so we could definitely see that again tonight. And since we started looking at that power gain, it really hasn't gone up much the past level or two here. We're still, I think it was brought up already, but Jay Coper's power, I think you already said, I think was at least 5 to 8 more attack power than this.
Yeah, I would want to be in the 150s, maybe even higher, depending on how much MP I have before I would try this. 82 is still a little bit low.
Yeah, I think 88 at least. You're giving yourself a shot. So the Dragon Lord 2 Breath with the Airdrix armor on can roll 42, 44, 46, and 48 in even distribution, as far as I'm aware. So you really, I think you'd really want to see 89 be kind of your target. We've got plenty of extra heal mores here. Right now, I think we're at... Math is boggling me at this point. So we're at 17, which I think is what Jay Coper had last night. I don't know. At 82, I agree, is still too low.
And we see Thirwolf two-shotting a red dragon.
Yeah, I think last level optimally would have been the one to switch at. But this is definitely the right play now.
Yeah.
And just kind of recapping for anybody joining recently here, a couple of more RNG things kind of went against SylverFyre here. Obviously, they're a great runner in our community. I think they're top 10 right now. We're pretty close to it. Have reliably been so. But when they had enough gold to get the magic armor early, they got bounced by a golem. And didn't bother to go back at the time to get it, which I think more often than not is the right play. And then there was some really bad, what seemed like really bad encounter luck while trying to count the coordinates the first few times. That really dissuaded them from checking it. And then, obviously, without the token, you can't get into Charlock, which wound up being the most optimal grind location. So a few things just happened to work against them this seed. And you never know. Unfortunately, for CD Improv here, we may still have a ways to go, and things can turn the drop of a hat if suddenly we get on a string of metal slimes in any area. It could swing the other direction here.
Right, I think as you said for SylverFyre, it was really just a bunch of things that ordinarily would not be a big deal, like not being able to get that magic armor, that just the way this seed played out, it turned out it was actually a big deal.
Okay, I think we're 2 red dragons away here as we're in the middle of killing this one. At the 2-hour, 33-minute mark, Syl is making their entry into the Charlotte Castle. Probably going to be disappointed to see what the enemy set up here.
Nine HP. 9 HP.
9. This has been proven that this will work. So it may not work the first time. So we're going to want to see here if Thirwolf happens to get dissuaded by maybe a poor roll or a poor dive or anything like that. But this should work. So if Thirwolf watched the race last night, these are really close, and I think for the most part better stats overall. For sure there's 3 more hit points, so this can definitely work. I think it's probably somewhere around 50-50.
Yes, and I will point out, as others have in the chat, 0 MP! Oh, I love it! But you're right, the HP, we know from last night, this is definitely doable. And I believe this is actually a more favorable situation than Jay Coper was in. Providing, especially if Thirwolf can get down to Charlock with their MP intact. Which might be a question mark at this point. We know that the top zone is pretty tame. We don't know what's in the bottom 2 zones, but we do know that some of the potential nastiest enemies, your golems, your red dragons, your armored knights, they don't have anything super dangerous other than just being armored knights and red dragons. They don't have sleep or dragon lord breath or anything like that. So, but looks like he is diving.
Yeah, and Thirwolf might be of the mentality that he's going to take it out on any enemy that comes his way instead of trying to run, which at 153 attack power is not a terrible idea, especially with these wizards that are definitely defense broken.
Yeah, I don't mind the play of anything you can defense break, and especially since you're going to 2-shot. Maybe potentially, depending on... Wizards, I think, have fairly low HP. You might be able to, if you get a fortunate roll, you might be able to 1-shot a wizard. Well, Beta Strep, so far, no surprise attacks, but bad luck on running from Stone Men so far.
Yeah, too much agility to run from a stone.
Gets away from the armor.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds where it goes on for so long. You're definitely, I mean, it's interesting to wonder at any point when. Oh, we're burning a Healmore here, which could be of note. But you're probably thinking for the last hour or so that somebody could have done already. At least maybe the last half hour. So Thirwolf might be pretty safe.
But yeah, it's again, we know from last night this is very doable, and it's a heads-up play, whatever the logic is from Thirwolf, but it can be a little hard to tell. Is it because they saw last night's race and they know? Are they making a smart heads-up play, or are they just kind of, it's been 2.5 hours, it's level freaking 22, I just want this to be done, I'm going, sort of thing.
Yeah, a couple things in chat. Thirwolf doesn't have the death necklace, but if you did, you still wouldn't want to put it on, just because, like we said, the fire breath would then take you out, take more than half your health for sure. So not having it here is not going to be a second thought for Thirwolf. It wouldn't be something you would use.
Right, yeah, there's no way you would use it there. 91, take off a quarter of that is roughly 20 something, so you'd be going down to about 70, maybe even below 70. Yeah, there's no way you'd put the death necklace on there.
Although I will say this, with the HP growth even lower for Syl, what you might see here is if Thirwolf gets unlucky on the DL2 fight a couple times, it could open the door. Because Syl's to the point where they're grinding on red dragons now. So that could be an interesting development, because that experience is actually going to start pouring in pretty quickly. It looks like they're doing a pretty good job of it here.
Yeah, it is. As you mentioned, it may be too little too late at this point, but that experience gap now, especially depending on what Thirwolf does and doesn't fight on the way down, that experience gap is going to close pretty quickly.
I'm wondering if Thirwolf has herbs or not. I don't think I've seen him use any.
I saw him use one. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay, just saved it for the end. That's alright. Of course, red dragon.
Oh no, the dodge! Oh boy.
So 2 Hillmores down. We still have 15. And we're going to be averaging, I think 19 and a half.
Oh no, no, Thirwolf, don't do it! Don't walk it up! Don't!
Oh God, the heel walk never works.
No! Don't do it!
Just getting absolutely punished for the heel walk.
Yeah, I swore off heel walking after one time when an armored knight took me from 120-something HP to dead, and I had 90-something agility. I was not pleased.
So don't look now, but Syl's trimmed the lead to about a little less than 5,000. Good stop spell there.
Here we go, gets an attack to start. 17. Is 30.
Yep, you want to see these attacks. These are good.
$23 brings it up to 58. Okay, survived.
You
Leave
just
us
got
be.
claimed
Leave us
every
be.
time.
What?
This is going well. Knock on wood.
Not gonna risk it at 47.
At this point, I think he's built up some collateral to use.
That's 16, that's a 120. $137.
Just heal.
That's 152.
Next one could do it. I like the patience.
And this could do it. Yes, there we go.
Fantastic job.
I did the math right.
Fantastic job out of Thirwolf. Just really good play, top to bottom. I mean, as much as it was just a difficult seed, I don't think that there were any glaring errors at all at any point. You know, just really well played, consistent, and a good time. And congrats, GG. And moving on to the round of 16.
Yes, indeed. Their official SRL time 2 hours, 44 minutes, 29 seconds.
Congratulations, Mr.
Hey, what's up?
Thirwolf.
Hey.
Very well played seed. Very well played seed. You wouldn't know it from the time, but I was just saying I don't think there were any big errors or anything like that. It was just very consistent. What did you think of that one?
Oh, I was just thinking before this, watching High Spirits finish that race, like, oh man, I hope our seat isn't anywhere as long as that. And it was longer.
Yeah, so did you have any idea what you were in for when you found the early Erdrick sword in the treasury?
No, not at all. When I found Rimmildar like 30 minutes in, I'm like, well, I think I was 1 or 2 tiles from seeing that 15 minutes ago. So that felt, it felt a little bad getting it that late. But I don't know, maybe he missed it too.
No, SylverFyre actually.
Sorry, we're dueling each other here. Yeah, SylverFyre, I want to say it was maybe like 10 to 15 minutes earlier, which at the time seemed like a lot of time, but in the grand scheme of what it turned out to be was not that big of a deal.
Yeah, around 2 hours in, I'm like, well, maybe it didn't matter because this is all about grinding, apparently. So, and first floor of Sharlock seemed okay. I mean, for what that was worth.
Yeah, we were going over here in the commentary booth that this was one of those very unusual situations where a wandering grind kind of like that in the first floor of Sharlock was really the best place to do it, as opposed to normally you want a spike tile, even if it's not a particularly good spike tile, but the HP was just not there to support any kind of spike tile grind this time. So yeah, that was one of the best places to grind, I think.
Yeah, I tried to switch to the Red Dragon at one point, but the HP wasn't there to support it. I had like 60 at the point, and he was still hitting me too hard. I went back around 80, and then I'm like, I don't want to grind another level up to 23 or whatever ridiculous thing. I'm just going to, go to Dragon Lord, and if he hits me too hard, burn a heal more since I have like a million of these.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were aware of last night's Nest Cardinality J Coper race. It was a very similar situation, and you were actually in better shape than J Coper was getting the Dragon Lord too.
That's rough.
Yep, J Coper's max HP was 88 in that race.
Yeah, I saw a comment in the Discord about an 88 max HP, or 85, I guess, from me out. And I'm like, well, 90, that's better than that, so sure.
Definitely. Yeah, I think all things considered, I think it was pretty timely on when you switched to the Red Dragon grind. Was there anything specifically you were looking for that then caused you to switch over to that grind?
I was hitting for a lot of damage, and I had over 80, so I'm like, this will probably be at least more consistent. The Sharlock, the Stoneman still kind of hurt, and it was just so much time in between encounters. I figured, it'll probably balance itself out to where it's probably worth it. And I was hoping that the next level would just do it, which, it worked out.
Yeah, I think another thing that you did really well that did make a big difference. It didn't seem like a huge deal at the time, but looking back at it now made a big difference, was the count. So how did you find that count and kind of compared to some of your other scenes?
I mean, at least it was all kind of linear. I mean, just go straight up and then right. I didn't have to save a position or anything like that and walk around a giant river. So it was actually not bad. It was just, a little bit long. The trip to get the coordinates, though, was fun with 30 HP. I don't think I ever want to do that again.
I think SylverFyre got the coordinates later than you did, and then I think just ran into a little worse encounter luck the first few times trying to count it out, and had kind of gotten convinced that with the HP the way that it wasn't going to be possible, which then, as things kind of fell into place, took the Charlock grind off the table.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I was worried about Fairy Flute, really, because with that Golem Spike Tile, I'm like, maybe, he found the flutes in some random chest in that grave or something. Because I wasn't going to go into the grave because I actually had everything necessary once I got that token. I'm like, well, I just need armor at this point. I'm not going to really go through too much effort to find stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Syl did wind up full clearing the grave, and I think full clearing all the other chests, and there was no flute to be found on the overworld.
Oh, so Sharlock, maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, somewhere in Sherlock, we don't know where. The other thing that didn't seem like it was a big deal at the time, but actually may have played more of a factor than we thought, was you actually getting the magic armor. Silver did grind enough for the magic armor, but got sniped on the way to getting it, and it turned out that the hurt more resistance, that basically they were getting one shot by a bunch of things you would have been able to survive or at least try to run away from because of that the hurt more resistance that the magic armor provided.
Yeah, I saw it, and it gives some nice benefits. So when I'm gold grinding, why not? It paid off. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, that was another good call on your part. Well, as we were talking, I think there was a full plate available in the same shop as the Silver Shield. So a lot of people, myself included, might have been tempted just to grind up to 178 and call it a day. But that hurt more resistance really did a good trick for you.
Yeah, I died to hurt more several times in the beginning, I would say. A decent amount of times, so it was a threat. I guess Stop Spell showed up at some point in there, deep into the levels.
Yeah, I actually don't even know when, to be honest.
Yeah, the spells, I mean, Sleep was good for basically a level. It helped out. And then I think at that point I got Sword, so I was like, fine. Sleep did its part.
Yeah, the early Sleep did help a little bit. One of you, I don't even remember who at this point, used it to chip shot a wolf to death 2 damage at a time.
Yeah, I don't think it was 2 damage, but I did kill many a wolf in early going.
Yeah, so another thing that's just made it a little bit different, another just decision, SylverFyre went with the Strength Agility build, so it was just a little lower on hit points the whole time.
That's not good with this.
No, that's definitely the risk you take here. And as we're seeing it here now, SylverFyre, they're at level 22, and the hit points is only 84, which is going to make this dive a little more interesting for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough. There were more armored knights on the way there than I would have liked.
Yeah, it did seem like you were getting. That was something. Talk to me about trying to heal walk your way after you got past the spike tile on the bottom floor of the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just walk back and forth a bit. Red Dragon. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm using herbs. This will be fine. And then the Dragon Lord himself, the phase 1 was okay. So that was lucky.
Yeah, it worked out. That was probably the closest thing you made to a glaring error. You started the heal walk, and myself and multiple people in the chat were like, "No, don't do it." I have an aversion to the heal walk. Either way, though, it worked out for you.
Yeah, as soon as I started it and the counter started, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Oh well, 2 hours 40 minutes in. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll make some mistakes.
Right. Hey, so question here. What did you think about your luck against metal slimes on the sea?
I killed one. I mean, that's good enough, right?
That actually made in the middle levels from about the I want to say maybe levels 7 through 11 or so. Actually, SylverFyre had really good luck against metal slimes. I'm pretty sure they took out at least maybe at least 5, maybe 7, and then later on there's a whole other thing that we'll talk more if Syl won't joining us in the comms here, but they wound up using the necklace to kind of farm metal slimes for a little while. So,
Interesting.
yeah, it was just another kind of flourish on an already crazy, weird seed that there were metal slimes everywhere to contend with.
Yeah, I saw a lot of metal slimes. I think I only got the one kill, but it helped me get like level 9 or something, and I was pretty far away from it, so I was okay with that.
Yeah, so your grind, honestly, your decisions on stopping when you did at different places to grind wound up being just overall the main difference. Little decisions here and there gave you slight advantages here and there, but honestly, your decisions to grind when and where you did were what won the match for you. So kudos to that.
Thanks. This was definitely a grind fest, and the resources just were not there. This is definitely a unique seed for me. I don't have a lot of experience with this type of thing, so happy it worked out. Although around 2 hours in, I opened up RC to get a forfeit ready just in case.
Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I always have it open just so I am aware. Just a note, 23 would definitely have been the level. Obviously 22 worked out, but SylverFyre just hit level 23, got 12 HP, which brings them to 96 on the strength agility build. And they are pretty clearly going for it.
Yeah, now I would put this in lock category, so we're getting over the 3-hour mark, but at least I'm assuming. No, attack power is pretty good. This might be sub 3 yet. Depends on encounters. So otherwise, yeah, I was wondering myself somewhere in kind of that 2-hour, 15 to 30-minute mark. I know you're maybe not as experienced as some others at Dragon Warrior Randomizer, but certainly pretty experienced in the randomizer community as a whole. Was this something where these statistics and these different factors being so strange Did they tilt you at all, or were you just kind of taking it all in stride?
I mean, growing up, I was always a math person, so it's like, statistics, that's fine. Now, I'm pretty lazy about it sometimes, but, it was not a detriment or anything. The one thing that gets me a little bit is, spending 2 hours grinding, but, what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. I thought that it wouldn't have a terrible impact, and obviously it didn't have any impact, but it would be hard for anybody not to be fatigued for sure.
I mean, I played a 7-hour Zelda 1 randomizer that was one hit KO and blackout, so I'm okay.
I was going to say, complaining about the 2 hours of grinding, so can we presume we will not be seeing any Dragon Warrior NES, any percent no manipulation runs from you anytime soon?
Oh, I'm no speedrunner. I just play randomizers for fun. Speedrunning? Nah, forget all that stuff. That's a grind.
Alright, SylverFyre and SylverFyre fight with the Dragon Lord here. And opening with a 26, then a 21.
The encounter rate didn't allow for a sub 3-hour seed, but we're still going to punish this Dragon Lord for taking 3 hours of our time.
Alright.
So as we wrap this up here, any kind of final thoughts on the seed overall that we haven't already covered, Thirwolf?
I think we pretty much covered everything I can think of. But man, that was a thing right there.
Certainly was. I'll briefly point out that SylverFyre has defeated the Dragon Lord, but Thirwolf, you're going to be moving on to face Couch 23 in the next round.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, that'll be another matchup here. Things down to 16. That round should probably start Monday, I'm thinking, from what I saw from the schedule. But GG to SylverFyre. Don't let the seed win. Finishes it out. We're in this 3 hour and 1 minute, 1:45, somewhere in there.
Yep, the official RL time, 3 hours, 1 minute, 40 seconds.
So we will see if Syl wants to come in and talk things over here.
I thought they were in here.
I don't think it'd be possible to come up with a worse seed for an Agi build if you tried.
I think you're right. Well, GG Syl, congrats on not letting the seed get away with its trespasses here.
What's that?
Is that GG on finishing out the seed, even though it was a terrible, terrible, terrible seed?
I had to know what level. Like, I haven't seen a level 23 seed in like 2 years. And I thought the algorithm was changed to make them less likely.
Well, if you haven't seen one in 2 years, that's pretty unlikely.
It is pretty unlikely.
So, yeah, you mentioned this was a terrible strength agility seed. That was correct. Thirwolf actually made it at 22 with a strength HP build.
Yeah, I was at what, 84, so he would have had like what, 6 or 7 more, like 8 more HP, I think. So like, yeah, you can just heal out the dragon breath turns and get through that. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that's basically what I did.
Yeah, he was at 91 HP.
Uh-huh.
More than the 88 from last night's seed. So, that's good.
At least I broke a record for how many metal slimes are killed in a single run.
You committed metal slime genocide in this run. It was 5, 6 you killed? Well, and then you started grinding on them.
Yeah, and then I started just okay, dying with the death necklace on probably cost me like 10 minutes right there by itself. But I knew that there were metal slimes in Swamp Cave as I was walking through it to go turn in my rainbow drop. So I'm like, okay, I'll put on the death necklace. I'll be able to one-shot them, which is probably the only thing that will save me here is if I can just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill another dozen metal slimes. Because I was pretty sure that I'd be massively behind and require an extra 3,000 XP. And I was right, I did require an extra 3,000 XP.
Yeah, the metal slime luck was about the only real luck you got, the early metal slime luck. There's a couple of things that just went not your way that seemed small at the time, but turned into...
Screwing up my count of coordinates lost me that race. 100%. That cost me so much time.
Yeah, Thirwolf did nail the count pretty early on, and
yeah, and I usually put off the token, but Sharlock 1 was basically the only good grind spot that I can think of. So not having that probably lost me the race right there.
Yeah, that was where Thirwolf did a lot of his grinding.
Uh-huh.
Except for the last level or two, when you finally got the HP to be able to reliably survive red dragons.
I guess I had so much defense that I could do him at a lower HP level.
Yeah, the other thing of note, I think, was you had the money and were on your way to Garinnam, I believe, for the magic armor, which would...
Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't even check the shop there. I'm like, there might be magic armor there, and if there is, I'll grab it, and if there isn't, then I'll die with the money, and I won't really care too much because I had half plate, and that's what, 4 defense difference or something. And we have so much MP to heal with anyway. It would have been nice, but it wasn't. I don't think that was make or break.
Yeah, the only thing it really wound up doing was made the hurt Morse survivable, which at the time...
Oh, yeah, I died to a lot of Hurtmores, didn't I?
Yeah, at the time there would have been no way to really know that was going to be a big deal, but over time that did kind of affect things more than you would definitely expect it to.
And I was like, I already bought the silver shield. I don't want to reset back to my saved gold. That's fine.
Yeah, this is just a very unusual seed in general.
Can I have some hit points, more than 30 of them? There's just so many things that did not go my way.
Yeah, to end things on a positive note, very savvy play to throw on that necklace for the metal slime grind. I don't... There was some talk in chat about it way earlier, and then I know that I would have never thought of that, so kudos to you for thinking that through.
Yeah, it felt like a Hail Mary, and then I screwed up after doing it, and, it didn't work out, so... Oh well.
Yeah, but sometimes even,
and then I even screwed up walking back to Brecconary just to top it all off.
Yeah, but sometimes even throwing the Hail Mary is harder than it sounds, so...
Yeah, that's fair. That's how Hail Marys work, right?
Something like that, yes. Any final thoughts here?
I probably had too much faith in that wizard stone man and then like 3 mediocre mid-tier enemies desert, and I wish I hadn't committed quite so hard to that. And don't screw up your counts, especially when there's a red dragon guarding the princess.
Fair enough. All right. Well, for those of you night owls sticking with us, we're going to be raiding El Magus, playing FF4 Free Enterprise, Final Fantasy IV Randomizer. That randomizer is also a lot of fun. You should check that out. But other than that, I am going to be heading for bed. So I will, for our, let's see here, for our restreamer, CD Improv, for our tracker, Ali Gerberap, my co-commentators, JJ Schmidt, thank you for joining me. Mario the Cat, also thank you for joining me. And of course, thank you to our runners, SylverFyre and Thirwolf, and thanks to Maguru for making this thing. Thanks to RPG Limit Break for hosting, for allowing us the use of the channel, and thank you all for hanging out with us on this lovely Friday night, early Saturday morning. This is Emptyeye signing off and going to sleep. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good night.